How to feed 5,000 soldiers on a U.S. aircraft carrier living in the middle of the ocean.
Right now, the aircraft carrier USS Gerald R. Ford is slicing through the waves of the Pacific Ocean, carrying 4,539 people on board. That's more than the population of many small American towns. The nearest land is about 200 miles away, surrounded by nothing but endless blue water. But this isn't a cruise, it's not a vacation. Every single person here works around the clock, doing one of the toughest, most dangerous jobs on Earth. Every day, the crew eats around 18,000 meals. They sleep in cabins smaller than prison cells, yet operate some of the most advanced weapon systems ever built. So how do nearly 5,000 people survive for months in the middle of the ocean? The answer is incredible. The USS Gerald R. Ford isn't just a ship, it's a floating city, as large as thousands of American communities combined. Right now, somewhere in the Pacific, 4,539 sailors, pilots, and Marines live and work aboard the Ford. And it's not alone. The United States operates 11 nuclear-powered aircraft carriers, each home to about 5,000 crew members. Legendary ships like the USS Abraham Lincoln, USS George Washington, and USS Ronald Reagan, all massive, moving cities carrying American power across the world's oceans. Each carrier represents the peak of human engineering. One ship costs over $13 billion and takes nearly a decade to build. But the result is astonishing. A vessel capable of operating for months on its own, supporting thousands of people thousands miles from home. If you feel proud of that scale and strength, just type "proud," because the numbers are truly mind-blowing. The Gerald R. Ford stretches 1,092 feet, even longer than the Empire State Building is tall. It displaces over 100,000 tons of water, and most impressively, it can stay at sea for up to 90 days straight without refueling or visiting port. 90 days, 5,000 people, no land in sight. So how do you feed an army like that every single day? The logistics are pure magic. The galley runs 24/7, no breaks, no weekends, no holidays. Every day, they prepare and serve 18,000 meals, and yes, that's real. Think about it. A typical McDonald's serves a few hundred people a day. Here, they're serving thousands, cooking hot meals around the clock, even during storms or combat operations. The ship's food storage is massive. Thousands of tons of supplies, from frozen meats and fresh produce to dairy and dry goods. Huge refrigerated rooms look more like warehouses than ship storage. And here's what surprises most people. The food is actually good. Navy chefs are trained in some of the best culinary schools in the country. They compete in cooking contests and even appear on TV shows. Some of the dishes served on these giants could easily belong on the menu of a high-end restaurant back on land. Fresh bread is baked on the carrier every single day, massive ovens running non-stop. Pizza Fridays, Taco Tuesdays, steaks and lobsters for dinner. The variety is impressive. This isn't canned food or military rations. These are real meals cooked by professional Navy chefs in uniform. Life in the galley runs like a perfectly timed dance. During meal hours, hundreds of sailors move through the serving lines in just minutes. Rows of steaming trays stretch endlessly, even as the ship rocks, jets roar above, and the deck vibrates from takeoffs and landings. The precision is stunning, but food is only a small part of daily life at sea. Where do all these people actually live? How do you fit the population of a small town into a space smaller than a shopping mall? The secret lies in brilliant engineering. Sailors sleep in what they call racks, three-tiered bunks spread throughout the ship. Each person gets a space about the size of a coffin, but it's theirs. Every rack has its own light, air vent, and tiny storage compartment. Many sailors decorate their corners with photos, trinkets, and small reminders of home, anything to make it feel a little more personal. Privacy is almost non-existent, but the crew has long learned how to live side by side. Petty officers might share a cabin with one other person, while junior sailors sleep by the dozens in a single compartment. Everything depends on unwritten rules of respect and discipline. Officers get slightly better quarters, small rooms, more like college dorms than luxury suites. Even the captain, despite his rank, lives in conditions that would feel cramped on land. Space is a luxury when you're housing an entire city on a moving platform in the middle of the ocean. Now, let's talk about the work. Aircraft carriers never rest. They operate 24/7, 365 days a year. No weekends, no holidays, no breaks. Someone is always on duty, fixing, steering, maintaining, watching. Just the flight deck alone requires hundreds of people, all moving in perfect coordination, like one living machine. And every time you see footage of fighter jets taking off or landing, remember, this is one of the most dangerous workplaces on Earth. Jet engines, speed, noise, and risk, all happening just feet apart. A single mistake could cost lives. The deck crew, known as rainbow shirts, are easy to spot by their colors. Yellow shirts direct the movement of aircraft. Blue shirts secure planes with chains and chocks. Red shirts handle weapons and fuel. Each color represents a specific job in a massive, finely tuned system where even the smallest error is unacceptable. On the flight deck, purple shirts handle aircraft refueling, while green shirts manage the catapults and arresting cables that stop jets during landing. Most of them are young Americans, many just out of high school, yet they operate equipment worth more than they'll likely earn in a lifetime. Each FA-18 Super Hornet costs around $70 million. One mistake, a single wrong move, and the results could be catastrophic. But these crews work with such precision and focus that it's almost hypnotic to watch. During high-tempo flight operations, jets launch and land every few minutes, a non-stop ballet of speed, noise, and danger. Coordinating all of this is an extraordinary challenge. Flight control, catapults, arresting cables, refueling, weapons handling, dozens of operations happening at once. And yet, everything runs in perfect harmony, like one living machine. Beneath the flight deck lies another world, a realm of power and engineering. Nuclear reactors drive these floating cities, the true heart of American naval technology. Carriers of the Nimitz class are powered by two A4W nuclear reactors, capable of generating enough energy to power a city of 100,000 people. Only the Navy's top specialists work here, sailors who spend nearly 2 years in intensive training before they're cleared to handle nuclear systems. The standards are sky high. There's absolutely no room for error. These reactors can operate for up to 20 years without refueling, supplying everything: propulsion, lighting, radar, computers, life support, weapons, even the galley kitchens. Every system on board depends on these reactors hidden deep within the ship's steel hull. One of the most impressive systems on the carrier is its water desalination plant. The ship turns seawater into fresh drinking water using reactor-generated heat and pressure. The Gerald R Ford alone can produce over 400,000 gallons of fresh water per day, enough to supply every sailor with water for drinking, showers, laundry, and daily operations. And surprisingly, the water on board is often cleaner than tap water back home. It's filtered, treated, and tested constantly. Nothing goes to waste either. The ship recycles everything from leftover food to everyday trash. Organic waste is ground and safely discharged at sea, while solid materials are sorted, compacted, or incinerated in special systems. Nothing is ever dumped overboard untreated. Running an autonomous city at sea means being completely self-sufficient, even in medicine. Every carrier has a fully equipped hospital on board, staffed with doctors, nurses, and corpsmen. They handle everything from routine checkups to major surgeries. The medical complex includes operating rooms, X-ray machines, dental offices, a pharmacy, and intensive care units, all on a warship in the middle of the ocean. The doctors must be ready for anything from combat injuries to common colds because they're responsible for the health of nearly 5,000 people living side by side, far from the nearest shore. When the ship is close to shore, medical evacuations are carried out by helicopter. But when the carrier operates deep in the Pacific or Atlantic, the doctors on board must be ready for anything. They've done it all, from appendectomies to open heart surgeries, sometimes while the ship is literally moving through the waves. Staying connected to the outside world is just as vital. After all, 5,000 people spend months away from their families. Modern carriers are equipped with powerful satellite systems that provide internet access, email, and even video calls. It's a massive leap from how things used to be. Back in the 1970s and 80s, sailors could make just one short phone call home during an entire deployment. Today, they can chat with loved ones, stream movies, and even take online classes, all from the middle of the ocean. That simple connection keeps morale high. Hearing a familiar voice or seeing a loved one's face, even for a few minutes, makes life at sea a little easier and a lot more human. But the ocean isn't always calm. Storms are common out here and sometimes brutal. 30-foot waves, gale-force winds, driving rain, all just part of life at sea. Yet carriers are designed to withstand the fiercest conditions. Their sheer size and hull design keep them steady in waters that would crush smaller ships. During extreme storms, flight operations are suspended, but the ship keeps moving forward. Hurricane winds, walls of spray, and thunderous waves, and yet the crew keeps working, eating, sleeping, as if they were still docked at port. Navigating in such conditions takes incredible skill. The bridge crew works around the clock, tracking weather, shipping lanes, and potential hazards. Their mission: to safely guide 100,000 tons of steel and 5,000 lives across the world's oceans. Maintenance never stops. Every system, every mechanism must function flawlessly, because lives depend on it. Engineers constantly inspect the engines, electronics, weapons, and life support systems. Hundreds of components, all working together without fail. There's no pulling over for repairs out here. 500 miles from land, everything has to work perfectly. Training also never ends. New sailors learn their trades under the watch of experienced mentors. Regular drills and alerts are held, from firefighting exercises to full ship battle readiness signals. It's not a formality. In a real emergency, the lives of all 5,000 people depend on how each individual reacts. These drills are intense, exhausting, and absolutely necessary. Over time, they forge a unique kind of culture, one built on teamwork, trust, and shared endurance. Life aboard develops its own traditions, rituals, and even inside jokes. Religious services are held for crew members of all faiths, offering spiritual support that's just as important as physical strength, especially when your home floats in the middle of the ocean. The aircraft carrier even has its own library, stocked with books, movies, and cozy corners where crew members can escape the constant hustle for a while. For those looking to burn off energy and stay fit, there are fully equipped gyms. Entertainment isn't in short supply either. Movie nights, talent shows, and sports competitions between departments keep life on board lively. Sometimes, when the seas are calm, they hold what they call Steel Beach events, impromptu picnics right on the flight deck. Sailors grill barbecue, listen to music, and soak up the sun, surrounded by nothing but the endless ocean. The crew itself is remarkable for its diversity. People from every state and all walks of life serve together. Kids from small towns alongside big city natives, college graduates working side by side with those who left school but found their calling in the Navy. What unites them all is life and work in extreme conditions, where every day tests endurance, teamwork, and resilience. Friendships forged on deployment often last a lifetime. Even far from shore, sailors continue to grow in their careers, taking exams, completing courses, and vying for promotions. Training and leadership development never stop, even 1,000 miles from land. Young sailors learn to lead, make decisions, and take responsibility for others. The level of trust given to 20-year-olds on an aircraft carrier would astonish any civilian manager. Technology on these floating cities is constantly evolving. The new USS Gerald R uses electromagnetic catapults instead of steam, and advanced radar systems can track hundreds of targets simultaneously. The entire infrastructure is connected through a single computer network, yet the key factor remains human. It all depends on the skill, coordination, and dedication of 5,000 people working together. The economic impact of these ships is massive. Every deployment supports not just the crew, but thousands of families at home, supply ships, port services, and contractors. Aircraft carriers are strategically invaluable. They project presence, provide aid, and ensure security in areas where no one else can. The Navy is also increasingly focused on environmental responsibility. Modern carriers are cleaner, more efficient, and safer for the ocean. Waste management systems are continually upgraded. Sailors know the ocean is both their home and their responsibility. The future of aircraft carriers lies in new technology, but their mission remains the same: to protect national interests and demonstrate power. The people who serve on these giants live extraordinary lives in exceptional conditions. Every day, they prove that Americans can rise to any challenge wherever they are. Every meal served, every jet launched, every mechanism kept running. It's all the result of determination, professionalism, and teamwork. These ships aren't just steel and machines. They are living proof of human capability and national unity. So next time you see footage of an aircraft carrier in the news, remember, 5,000 people are calling the ocean their home right now. They live and work far from the world we know so that we can feel safe. These floating cities are the pinnacle of naval power and a symbol of the dedication of those at the helm. They deserve our respect, support, and gratitude. If this story of strength and courage impressed you, like and subscribe to learn more about the people who keep America strong.